Hi, this is Red from ML Sportscars. Here we've got a very special Porsche 911 Carrera. It's a 3.4 991 series, last of the flat sixes, these 991 Gen 1s. It was produced in end of October 2014 and it's finished in a very special colour called deep black pearl metallic. That's how you say it. Kind of lost my words there a little bit. Absolutely incredible condition, as you can see. Lots of really nice options as well. Has the bi-xenon headlights at the front with the silver plastic housings. Daylight running LEDs in the lower bumper. They're all as standard with the Carrera models. It has privacy glass at the back, so that rear window and the sides are also slightly darker, and that's from the factory. That hasn't been aftermarket tinted. Has no rear wiper, so a lot of people prefer them without the wiper because it helps keep the rear looking really clean. Has the panoramic sunroof, the glass sunroof, which is tilt and slide. Really makes the cabin inside look really light and airy. And then the rear lights are the optional clear glass look, clear LED, so they do shine red, but when they're turned off they're white, completely white. It has the quad sports tailpipes there. Normally it would have ovals, and it has the full ParkAssist system, so front and rear parking sensors, and also the optional, rarely specced at this sort of era, reversing camera, so that automatically shows you the rear view when you put it in reverse. It's a PDK, 7-speed PDK gearbox car, so that means it's can be operated full manual, full auto, or a combination of the two. Very intuitive system, especially with the options it has, which I'll show you on the inside in a minute. It's fitted with Goodyear Eagle F1s, and they are all Porsche N rated. Loads of tread left in those as well. Very recent tyres. And the wheels are the Carrera V, Carrera Mark V, basically, 19-inch alloys, which are the smaller size you could get. You could option 20-inch wheels, but actually these ride really well on the smaller 19-inch wheels because they have a larger sidewall there, so they're a bit more pliant over bumps, especially in the UK. Our potholed roads really do take the wheels do take a battering when they're that little bit bigger. These are a bit more supple over the bumps. It also has the optional tyre pressure monitoring system, so on the dashboard it will tell you exactly what the tyre pressures are of all four wheels. And the calipers were also specced in red, just like the S models, so they're normally black. Well, they were normally sort of like satin black, which sort of fades to a light grey, so a lot of them you'll see that. These have been painted red, which I think make them look a lot better than the standard sort of dull black. It makes more of a feature of them. So I think that's everything on the outside. I'll just show you the inside now, which also has got a lot of very nice options as well. So it's extended black leather, so it has leather on the doors, obviously on the seats, front and rear, because it's a four-seater, and it has leather all across, stitched leather all across the dashboard, glove box, center console. Everything is flocked in leather, and it's got the optional hardback sport seats, which are a four-way electric seat. So there we go. So height adjustable electric, the rear tilt is electric, and then it's only the pulling the whole seat back and forth is manual on these, with the handle down there at the front. So they're really lovely. Well, they're actually called the Sport Seats Plus because the standard seats are now called Sport Seats in this era. So these are Sport Seats Plus, so they have bigger bolsters at the bottom and at the top. And this was optioned with the Porsche Crests as well. You had to pay extra for those crests in both the driver and the passenger seat headrest, and it's got this seat heating as well. So 3-stage system. I'll start the car in a second actually, but let me just show you the rear. So obviously all this is leather, all of this is lovely stitched leather as well, and this center section, and obviously the seats, and then you have this rear section here, which is sort of like a storage area if you don't want to use the rear seats. And that's the panoramic sunroof with the blind closed, and I'll show you that with it open and also with the panoramic sunroof open as well. But you've got here full black leather interior, which looks really, really lovely. Hardly any wear at all. There's no sort of like scuffs or scrapes or rips or tears in this car. It's only got 2 previous owners on the V5. I sold this in May of this year to a long-term customer of mine who's bought a few cars off of me. He uses them for the summer, and then he basically wants to change up over the winter, so that's what he's done. So that's the rear blind, that's the roof blind removed, which is all electric. It's all controlled with that system here. I'll just start the car up. Sounds absolutely beautiful. As I said, these are the last flat sixes, the 991 Gen 1. The Carrera models, these are the last that had the flat 6 normally aspirated engine. After this they went to the 3-litre twin turbo setup for emissions mainly. Little bit more complicated engine in those cars. These actually still sound like classic Porsches. The flat 6 boxer thrum is still here in these cars, and that's why I stock these cars, and they're so popular still with customers. So it's covered 59,029 miles. It was recently serviced back in May, so I'll just show you that on this screen here. I don't know whether, oh yeah, there's the oil measurement. So oil's all good. The level, that's how you check the level there. And then info, there's no error messages. We've obviously plugged this into diagnostics and checked everything's all good. Done an over-rev check and also a clocking check and an options check as well to see what the car thinks it is, and it's all confirmed as being correct. So the next major service is due May 2026, so over 3.5 years time. 37,800 miles is when that's next due. The next minor service is due in 17,800 miles in May 2024, whichever comes sooner. Next oil change is due 17,800 miles May 2024 as well. So lots of time before it needs any maintenance, and it is only the minor service which is due then as well. This screen you can also change what things you see here, but also you can scroll through using this control here on this optional multifunction steering wheel. You can have different things shown there. So yeah, lots of stuff to play around with. Now, in terms of the options on this car, it has the Sport Chrono Package Plus, so it has Sport, Sport Plus, and with that package comes the Sport Chrono dashboard stopwatch, which also works as a clock when you're not using it as a stopwatch. Most people will just use it as a clock, in all honesty, so that's a nice little feature there. Makes more of a feature of the dashboard, I think. With these different modes, it will also light up on here, and it will change the characteristics of not only the engine, the throttle response and the gear change, but it will also change the weightiness of the steering, and also how much the traction control intervenes as well. So those modes are the Sport Plus. It comes with the Sport Chrono Package Plus. It means it will accelerate faster to 60. I think this car does it in 4.3, maybe 4.4, around that. I'll look it up in the history file we've got, which has all the specs and everything. As I said, it has the 3-stage seat heating as well. That lovely panoramic sunroof with there's the control, so I'll just open it up. So that's it opening. Has the full climate control system, which is 2 zones, so you can set a different temperature for both sides, and it will sort of dictate where to point the fans, or you can override it and you can say, well, I want it there, or I want it there, or I want you can even sync them as well so they're the same, and you can change the fan speed yourself as well. So a great system there. And then the satnav system, it's got the full satnav European mapping all built into the system here, a DVD and CD player in that slot there, and then it has the optional DAB, so that's a digital radio. It has, let me just connect my phone to it. It has the full phone connectivity. So I'll just connect my phone. Hopefully it will connect in a second. Just turned on Bluetooth. I normally have Bluetooth turned off. So there we go. So it's connected to my phone immediately just by turning on Bluetooth, because I'd already paired it with the car in advance. So you can make phone calls. You can also, because this has got the full Bluetooth streaming package as well, it will let you do Bluetooth music streaming, so you can have a podcast playing, or even you can have Waze playing through your phone on a dashboard mounted, on a vent mounted phone holder, and it will interrupt the music with directions through Waze or through over whatever mapping you use, if you don't like using the inbuilt satnav system. So that's really, really great. You don't need loads of wires. If you do want to do a wired connection, you've got a USB there, as well as a 12 volt and a 3.5mm audio jack as well. There's another 12 volt in here. So lots of options, and I think there may be one there. Yeah, there's a 12 volt socket there. You may not be able to see it because it's so dark, but that's all there as well. It has dual cup holders, so they come out like that. And obviously it's got the glove box, which I showed you. Alcantara roof lining, which is all in perfect condition as well. Really lovely. Let me just show you. It has cruise control. Let me just show you the file quickly, and then I'll talk you some of the bits on the outside. So it'll do 0 to 60, actually 4.2. So with the options it has, it'll do 60 and 4.2, which is very, very, I think is super fast actually. 345 horsepower, 288 foot-pounds of torque, 19-inch wheels, 11 inches wide at the rear, 8.5 inches wide at the front. It's got top speed 178, and it weighs just under 1.5 tons. Quite a lightweight car. Obviously it's rear-wheel drive. I didn't say that. It's a 911 Carrera, so it's rear-wheel drive. And then the options list is absolutely huge. I've talked through all of these, I think, other than it has PADM. So it has the Porsche Active Drivetrain Mounts, which are two mounts which attach the PDK box to the chassis of the car, and they basically stiffen and soften depending on what mode you've got it in: Sport, Sport Plus or normal, and they get really stiff in the Sport Plus mode, so you feel the gear changes through the chassis, through the body, much more when you put it in the sportier modes. So that's that system there. Very clever system. It also has the believe it or not, to have the vanity mirrors with lights is an optional extra, so it has those. I've had that be a deal breaker on some cars that didn't have it, so they're there. Rain sensor as well, so it will change the speed of the wipers. Obviously auto lights as well with those bi-xenon headlights. Cruise control I've already mentioned. It's got the 9-speaker 235 watt sound system, which has got separate amplifier, so really decent system as well. What else? Yeah, I think that's all the things that I mentioned are covered on there. This is available as a PDF on the website. If you go to the advert for the car, if on a desktop it's on the right hand side to download, or if you're on a mobile, you scroll all the way to the bottom. There's a sales brochure for the car from when these were new, a PDF from Porsche which shows all the original sort of blurb and sales literature, including all the options, all the color palettes, everything, in a PDF. But also this is a PDF separate which shows all the options. It shows the diagnostics. It's got excellent diagnostics, so only range 1 over revs only 34, 0.09 seconds it's been at the red line, so fantastic history. And also the mileage check all checks out as well. And the service history is, it was supplied by Porsche Chester October 2014, serviced by Porsche Chester 2016, then 2018, 2020, and then we had it serviced in May 2022 at our specialist, Porsche Care Porsche Specialists, who are absolutely amazing. They did a major service, spark plugs, brake fluid changed, and drive belt replaced as well. Obviously it's HPI clear as well. MOT, we're going to get a new MOT, so it'll have 12 months MOT as well. And then it has the full invoice of all the work that we did, which came to £746 for that major service with all those bits, including an MOT. So great value for money, really. Let me show you the front and rear boots and also talk you through the roof. Before I lose the light, it's a lovely evening here in the UK in Hertfordshire, but the sun is setting quite quickly. Great time to take pictures of a black car like this. Really shows up the shine in the paintwork. So there's the engine, 3.4 Carrera engine, as I said, 345 horsepower, 288 foot-pounds of torque, I think it was, and it will do 60 in 4.2. You don't actually see the engine because the engine is sort of in this area here. In fact, when they do a major service, they have to remove the whole rear bumper, lights, exhaust, everything. So it's quite a lot of work. But that's what you see is the cooling fans over the top. It has a spoiler which comes up at speed as well, which I can show you. So there's the spoiler. I'll just put that down. You have to hold it down when you put it down until the light goes out, basically. It's one touch to go up. It's absolutely amazing condition. Everything's all clean and original. I do love getting cars like this back because I know their provenance over time, and this car's only basically been looked after by Porsche main dealer Chester, Porsche Chester, and our specialist. So very, very well pampered car, and only, as I said, 2 previous owners. There's the front boot. It's got all the tools in that side. And the lock and wheel bolter is in that side, and there's got tyre gel in that side, and it's got a decent battery under here as well as the tyre compressor. So let me just lift that up. So there is the original Porsche battery, and the compressor is in that section there. Put that back. It's got all of its original VIN stickers, the factory stickers, so none of these panels have been replaced. The same is true on the back as well. So there is the roof open, or fully open. There's so much more light in there. A lot of people say this is a must, either this or the metal sunroof on the earlier cars. 2014 cars came with this lovely glass. And if I do the one touch to get it onto the tilt, so there it is on tilt, which also is nice because it lets a bit, not only is it letting light in, it's letting a little bit of ventilation in, and that's perfectly fine to use even at motorway speed. Then I'll shut it completely. So that's it completely closed. So essentially the glass panel is this section here, and then it has piano black finished panels there, and at the front there between the windscreen and that panel there. Obviously it's got a top tinted windscreen. They all do in the UK, green top tinted. They are very subtle, dark green, so you don't notice it's actually green, but they call it a green tint. As you can see, it is in absolutely stunning condition, ready to go, ready to be enjoyed by a new owner. Still very low ownership for a 2014 car. Sounds amazing in my opinion. These for me are the golden era. These engines are direct fuel injection engines of the 997 Gen 2 and the 991 Gen 1 are, in my opinion, the ones to own because they sound the best, they perform the best, and they're the most reliable, so they don't suffer bore scoring of earlier cars, 996s, 997 Gen 1s. They don't suffer IMS bearing failures, they don't suffer RMS oil seal leaks, and they don't suffer turbo oil feed issues that the later 991 Gen 2s and the 992 suffers from. That's the twin turbo setup, has a slight flaw in it, which you don't get because this is the simpler flat 6. Really economical to drive as well, and yeah, a great ownership prospects, I think. So there it is. If you're interested in the car, please don't hesitate to get in touch with me. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please do subscribe to my channel for all the latest Porsche stock, and thank you for watching.